This doesn't make any sense what you're saying. This is my real hair. If you don't agree, white supremacy. Hey ladies and gentlemen, got another one for you. Life is kind of weird and I hate BLM in general. Because the way they steal this huge amount of money and they can't show where the money went, I'm shocked. And you're buying $1 million houses? Well, let's see this interview because now they complain people want transparency and that's racist. But before we get into this, remember to like, share, hail the bell notification and everything because look man, she's going to say one of the most stupidest things that I've ever heard in my life. You would be surprised. Look at this.
This is still an opportunity.
Yes.
It is a painful opportunity that comes at a cost. But what is the opportunity to set a new standard for transparency and accountability that hopefully will be willing to ask across the board and not just of the Black woman-led organization that seems to always be setting the new standards?
That's exactly right.
Was she saying, hey, all these other non-profit organizations, they never end up being watched as if they're not transparent with the money? Why is it always happening to Black organization, especially BLM?
It's a really good question. I think, first of all, number one, I actually did not know what 990s were before all of this happened.
It's confusing.
So part of the opportunity here is to educate our folks. Like, something's being weaponized against us that many people don't even know and honestly don't care about.
So 990s, education time. It's an IRS form and all nonprofits are supposed to fill it. So yeah, they want to know where the money is going, right? Simple. To the public. It's a standard thing that you have to do for the public because if you're a nonprofit and I'm giving you money, I need to know exactly where the money is going. And if I ask you where the money went, that's white supremacy, even if I'm Black?
I didn't know about them until they started asking us for them for COVID relief funds. I said, you need my 990. I had to call the accountant.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the accountant handled that. Like, I don't know what that is. It is such a trip now to hear the word, the term 990s. I'm like, ugh, it's like triggering.
It's freaking triggering when people are giving you money to help a community that doesn't even have enough money to help themselves. You gotta be bonging. You can't make this up.
It's next week.
Yo, but
the next thing you're gonna tell me, hey, when a baby is born, we have to do a maternity test before we can put the man's name on the paper.
It's like triggering.
Hey man, I'm not sure who is inventing these stuff, but it's like the worst idea you can think of is valid these days. I mean, this is the same woman that wants you to give your money to the government so the government can help the Black people. But when we tell her, okay, can you also be transparent about the money that you have that you were going to use to help the same people? No, because that's racist. This woman is so stupid. Remember, she said she's a Marxist. It's all about sharing the wealth. Giving the wealth to the people that don't have.
The purchase of the nearly $6 million home had not been previously reported, and BLM officials tried to keep its existence a secret from a journalist looking into a transaction. According to the reports, the organization tried to kill the story about the home, which is referred to initially as the campus, while one strategy memo reportedly suggested it may be used as an influencer house where artists can congregate. Reportedly, the house is a 6,500 square foot spread with more than 6 bedrooms and baths, a fireplace, a pool, and parking for more than 20 cars.
I swear to agent, I swear. So this actually has already existed.
And they removed this video. This video right here, the screenshot was on her channel. It's removed now. And this was allegedly that house.
Bro, just look at they got a chimney outside, bro. Look in the back behind her. Like, so they bought the house, tried to hide the house. The house is so big that they call it a campus.
So you making everybody look bad. It's a movement that needs to exist, but this specific org called BLM is buying luxury mansions in the most expensive state with y'all donations. Isn't that fucked up?
Now here, what makes me more worse, this is not the first time they've done it. Now 6 million is the most they've done.
That's crazy.
6 million is the most but this actually is not the first time they've done this. Literally a year ago, they got caught spending millions of dollars on houses once more.
That's also a critique, though, from the left that would say, if you are a trained Marxist, if we're talking about a certain kind of radical politics.
She's a Marxist? Shut the up. If she's a Marxist, this is straight up hypocrisy.
Yo, that's what he's about to ask.
If she agrees to being a Marxist, this is quite literally the most hypocritical thing I've seen all year.
She's about to explain why
she's a Marxist until it comes to her receiving the $6 million house.
Again, this is what her explanation was a year ago when they've done it. They've now done it again, but let's hear her explanation to why she did it a year ago.
She better say socialist or capitalist. If she says Marxist, low.
Extravagant homes of any sort or multiple properties of any sort is itself contradictory to the ideology that you hold. And so it's not about having money per se, but that it's about, or about property per se, but it's about there being a potential contradiction between your expressed politics and your lived practice.
Sure. And I think that is a critique that is wanting.
Oh, that's bad. That's bad.
And I say that because the way that I live my life is in direct support to Black people.
And the thing you call us is white supremacy. Well, not officially, but I can also play the victim. Maybe she ain't stupid. Maybe she is actually super smart and she's just taking advantage of people that are so naive. It's like the same people that keep voting for Democrats when they ask, hey, black people, keep voting for me because if you don't, you ain't black. And every time you vote for them, what do? They keep helping other immigrants from different generations. Then you're like, wait, what the heck are you doing? But we need to vote the same because we don't want to vote for the white people. Hey, man, open your mind and make your own freaking decision. And if people call you a coon, consider it a freedom call. They like socialism, they like communism, but for me, all I see is capitalism.
But you know what? I feel like there's many opportunities here. One, to talk about Black-led institutions.
Yes.
And the history of them, especially Black radical institutions.
Oh, here we go.
You know, down in Los Angeles, the Panther Party had a nonprofit called Community Services Unlimited. Most people don't realize that many of our Black Power movements had nonprofits because that's how they were able to do the free breakfast program and things like that. And so I think it's a great opportunity to be like, the right-wing media they don't get to co-opt our work and what we've done for so long. And so that seems like this seems like an interesting moment to really talk about Black-led orgs. It also feels like a really important opportunity to talk about why our organizations get under attack first, why they are the first ones to be challenged, and you know there's an opposition to them. And I also think it's a great opportunity to talk about what we're trying to build. Like, for a long time, you know, I'm not at Black Lives Matter anymore. I left last year, but for a long time we weren't a nonprofit on purpose. We took 7 years to become an actual 501c3. And these 2 short years, not even 2 years yet, that we've been an actual 501c3, it's been so under attack.
And I think that's why...
Because nobody knows where the money went, baby. Did I call her baby? You were buying big houses, living in big houses, and the chapter that you were supposed to support are complaining we're not seeing any of the freaking money. You can't prove it. You can't show me something you did. Hey, we created this, bada bim bam boom. If just like the mansion that you bought, show me something you bought like in the community. Like for example, P. Diddy bought a school and then you didn't do anything like that. You didn't lavishly go to a school. I built a school for the Black community so they can support themselves. You didn't do anything of that. And when we ask transparency, you feel like, what do you mean? Why don't you trust me? I'm a lady. Everybody hates us. I'm a Black woman. Everybody hates us. We hate you for a good reason. And you were the leader because now you're kumbaya, that you want peace and everything. And I'm like, okay, man. But you're still buying new houses after you left.
So many folks avoid the nonprofit industrial complex.
That's exactly right.
When we think about our movements for Black liberation, in order to serve community, quote unquote, legally,
yes,
too often do we get pushed or forced into a system that is actually meant to attack us and limit the capacity and the reach of our work.
I mean, I think it's supposed to do that, right? Because if you don't do it, anybody can create a non-profit and take advantage of it. But guess what? You're still doing it. Any non-profit has to do the same thing. If not, anybody can take advantage of being a non-profit, get the money, and that's it. We have to be sure that the money you're getting, that you're using it for your own people, because your own people is complaining. It's really surprising that people don't contradict these people because they're afraid of them. When BLM started, I was all about that. When I saw the thing happen to George Floyd, I didn't understand what the heck is going on. But if somebody called your moms and people told me that, I says, okay, no, I'm done. I don't want to see somebody calling their mom with a knee on their back because I feel bad for them. That's how emotionally attached I was to that situation. And I thought it was a great opportunity to prove that certain police can act very aggressive, right? I've seen it happen. But the organization is doing this now. And I'm like, dude, or Mrs., whatever you want to be called, you're the cancer in the society. And the rich cancer too.
Exactly
and
right.
so I think we have to start questioning those institutions.
That's exactly right. Yes, there has been so much clarity for me, a questioning for me. I don't know if I have clarity or answers yet, but I'm like, wow, this doesn't seem safe for us. This 990 structure, this nonprofit system structure, this is like deeply unsafe. Like this is being literally weaponized against us, against the people we work with. I can't tell you how many people are like, am I next?
What? How can disclosing something as a Marxist because you want to share everything with the people, how would that put you as the next target? Are you telling me by being transparent, people will see the stupidity you have done with the money and that would label you on the target? Just calm down. You sound like a car salesman. We're not playing a reverse Uno on your point of view. We're playing WTF. We're like, what are you doing? It doesn't make any sense what you're saying. This is my real hair. If you don't agree, why supremacy?
Like, are they going to do this to me? So there's not a lot of, that's like, when you know this, you run an organization, like people's morale in an organization is so important.
Yes.
But if their organization and the people in it are being attacked and scrutinized at everything they do, that leads to deep burnout.
That's why you need to organize the stuff correctly, so the amount of organizations coming after you, they can't find anything. But the thing is, you don't even allow people to find something. Because most people are going to quit and be like, you know what? This ain't worth it. But you'd see it as something worth it. Not for the people, for your freaking mansion.
Leads to deep resistance and trauma. And so I think that other piece for me around, what I think is important for people to understand is, and it's connected to this question, but there is a misinformation and disinformation effort to not just challenge Black Lives Matter and the organization, but it's an experiment. If they win, then it's the next Black-led organization.
Yes, it is.
If the community of the Black people suddenly received all that money, everybody was kind of stable and everything, you will go to a different neighborhood with the darkest white kid and be like, hey, why did you do that to this kid? BLM. You will find the reason to stay in power, especially the boy them mansions.
And then it's the next Black-led organization, and it's the next Black person who's leading that. And so it's so important that we pay attention to what's happening, and we don't allow they have this they know what they're doing, like how to create the infighting, how to create the distrust. We have to stop it. We have to stop it before they do it.
Just be that. Yeah, transparent. See, I bought this. We did this. We did this. We did this. We did this for the Black people that we're supposed to help. Hey, chapter, remember you complained about the thing that we didn't help you? I got proof.
We don't critique.
Nope.
There is a healthy way to ask questions and push that doesn't require us to harm each other.
That's right.
What are you talking about? A healthy way to ask? It's a form you just have to fill. Nobody is asking. The fact that we need to ask you to fill the form that everybody has to fill, how can you just talk so intelligent without even moving forward, but going backwards? And all we're asking, what did you give us? What did you do for us? But if I'm a coon, amen. I'm happy that I'm a coon because at least I know I have my own opinion and I realize you are taking advantage of my skin color. So that's all about it. That's the video. Let me know what you think. Am I a coon? Or am I just a normal guy that has an interesting opinion? Maybe because I'm a man, I don't understand women because it's not all about feminism. Fighting for all the hetero men killed on the street. Amen. You do you. I'm done. Comment.
Don't get me wrong, ma cosa kita bong. Put the fire na mi blonde kush hash purple skunk. Creo yo colombici jam jam. Durloqueta verdeta welcome.